I'm doing Spanish tomorrow. We're gonna do study a little bit tonight.
My daughter's for Spanish.
My daughter's applied it, and she does it too.
Yeah, some teachers don't want to go up. And
Yeah.
Ready to go, Matt?
We are recording.
Oh, we don't have to go through anything else?
What's that?
We don't have to go through any buttons or anything?
No buttons, it is capturing.
Okay, call the meeting to order for Thursday, April 23rd, 2015. Roll call members, please.
General? White?
Yes.
Wickman?
Yes.
Berger?
Yes.
Pierce?
Here.
Let the record show that all the members are present.
Okay, you've had an opportunity to read the minutes. Is there any additions or corrections? And if not, I would ask for an approval.
So move.
Second. Been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Motion carried. Okay, I'll read a statement here. The public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the board's rules of procedures as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director on detailed information and observations regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon the members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all the testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendations, if any, of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussion, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I will entertain a motion from the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium and state their name, address before proceeding with their testimony and evidence. I would ask that you would spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that may be deemed to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions related to the admissibility of evidence which may be overruled by a majority of the board. The board may grant continuance in case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered his appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of the hearing of the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for which other reasons as the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons for the continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official actions of this board shall be made at a public hearing by a motion made, seconded, and a polling of the membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on a case, that decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons jointly or severely aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustments under the provision of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county may present to a court a record of petition duly verified setting forth that such decision was illegal, in whole or in part, specifying the grounds of the illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the final decision of the office of the board. On hearing that, I would ask to open the public hearing on case CU 2015-02, Marlis J. Penny.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, open public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. The applicants may step forward and give their testimony.
Hello, my name is Tim Penny. I live at 17299 Lime Kiln Road, Crescent, Iowa. And we're here to
Could you spell your last name for us, please?
Penne.
Okay, thank you.
We're here for a request to open a personalized dog service at our home address.
Okay, you wanna tell us a little bit about how it's gonna work, or?
We're going to have a daycare slash boarding service for 6 to 8 dogs. We have 2 inner garages that we're gonna turn into. One side will be the actual area for the dogs to stay in. The other area will be a receiving area. We also have a 3-car garage that's attached. We'll put up a 6-foot fence around our backyard area for the dogs to have a run area. There's
Will that be a
guard-
privacy fence or a chain link?
It'll be a chain link fence. We right now have 3.66 acres that we live on. Approximately 2 acres of that will be as pasture land or just open area. We also are going to install a 10-foot or 12-foot by 12-foot open run on the north side of our house for smaller dogs. Hopefully we'll use smaller dogs in the smaller area and larger dogs in the larger area. They will have access from where they'll be kenneled at or put in to go directly into the yard by a side garage door that we have. As far as removal of the feces, we have a tree line that we can use, or we can use the acre that's north of our driveway as a place to put it, and then periodically, once a month, we'll go out with a rake and a small tiller and till it into the soil. I don't think as far as, it's gonna be a small operation. So as far as any type of increase in traffic flow, I don't think there'll be any increase in traffic. We live right now 3/8 of a mile off of Old Lincoln Highway.
Okay, any questions?
Does that require any permitting from the state? No.
Not as far as I'm aware. I think maybe if they were gonna be breeding, I don't know on the kenneling.
We need to get a kennels license
Yeah, we
from
called
the
the
state of
state,
Iowa.
and they said after this proceeding, that we would contact them, and they will come out and do like a looky-loo for a small inspection. But we've requested the kennel license already. The same way with, once we get through with this, then we will go to the next step.
How close is your closest neighbors?
The closest neighbor is about 250 feet from our house. The fence that we're going to be putting up will be about 230 feet from their property, from their front door of their house. The next closest neighbor is probably, I would say close to 400 feet to the north. And the fence will not go anywhere near. It comes out of the corner of our garage, goes down about 10 feet, and then goes up. And to the west of us is a hill that nobody occupies. It's a wooded area.
So you're not gonna fence in your whole property then?
No, we are not. We're just gonna fence in approximately 300 feet of fence will go around our backyard so that we can have just a run area for the dogs. Is pretty much what it's all gonna be.
What are you going to do with the kennels that are inside on getting the urine out of the?
We're going to be installing a floor drain, but most of it will be more of just scrubbing with proper solutions and chemical cleaning.
So floor drain, are you gonna put in some kind of a containment system then?
Yes,
Is it gonna go into a septic tank?
no. What it's gonna be, it's gonna be, well, as far as the urine part of it is concerned, yeah, it'll probably go into the septic system. As far as the feces are concerned, it'll be picked up and wiped up, like with paper towels and disinfectant. And those will be placed into a trash bag and disposed of.
So your plan is then to put in a containment system for the urine that goes into the
Yeah.
septic tank?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you, put the feces in there as well?
I don't know. I probably would. I have to talk to a plumber friend of mine to find out what all I have to do that. I'm sure it'd be like a small septic tank.
Cause that would take care of some problems.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Or that runs dirt or?
No, it's concrete.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the inside garages of our house where the actual kennels will be. We're hoping that if they have to go to the restroom, that they'll let us know they wanna go outside.
The outside part is dirt
Yeah, it's grass.
or grass.
Yeah, it's our backyard.
Did I read someplace that you were putting some of them in your basement?
That we've changed. We're going to basically, there's a drawing in there that shows the kennel arrangement for the large and the medium and small dogs. And they're all gonna be basically in the same small area, or it's a 25-foot by 12-foot garage that we're gonna put the kennels in. I don't really foresee us having more than, at the most, maybe 8 dogs if we go that high.
Okay, so this area,
Yes,
that's in the garage now as well?
yes.
Okay,
What are
Yes.
you looking at?
I'm looking at this schematic
We
that
had
I drew.
them submit us a floor plan after
That's
they
that drawing
submitted
I
their
did.
written part, and the floor plan was his updated version of what he wanted to do with the dogs, and the written part was what they originally came to us with on their ideas of what they had planned on doing.
The basement
Yeah,
there.
but when they submitted the floor plan, that changed.
Yeah.
Now, will these be the same dogs day after day, or?
We're kind of hoping that we would get approximately the same dogs for like a daycare type thing,
Right.
but more than likely, it's hard to say. I mean, sometimes you get people that use you all the time because they like the service that you provide, and the dogs are comfortable there. So, and most of the time, if you're having boarding, it's going to be mainly holidays and people when they go on vacation. Summertime and usually fall would probably be your biggest time. Holidays, for sure.
What about the barking noise, is that?
I mean, everybody that lives around us has dogs. I think with the exception of maybe one person, but they're far enough. And if they do get overly noisy or overly rowdy, I'll put them back in their kennels and they can bark inside the house.
Okay, anything else?
Is there any others like these around in the city, in the area,
In our area,
or in the?
no, there's a gentleman that lives
Just down the road from.
just down the road from us that has a kennel.
Darkenwall Kennel. is
Yeah,
that down
he's, but I don't think he raises, I don't think they do it anymore. I think they just have a couple of dogs. I'm not exactly sure, I
there? I
haven't
don't know,
really,
it's separate, it's this whole separate building from his
Yeah.
home, so.
he has yellow labs is what he basically breeds, if he breeds dogs. But that's a ways away from us.
What do you plan on charging for this, just for interest, like? Isn't it?
Overnight, $35, daycare, $30. And years ago, when we lived in Omaha and we did some of this, we charged $30 back then, and people don't blink an eye, which amazes me, but
We're hoping to do mostly senior dogs. They'll be like us, they want to sleep all day.
Yeah, we know that feeling.
quieter.
They'll be quieter.
Yeah,
Just lay down and sleep all day.
Yeah.
Give him a blow.
Okay, anything else? Thank you, if not, anything else?
Did you want her to state her name?
Yeah, would you say your name since you spoke?
Marlis Penny, Penne.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else want to speak in favor? Does anyone want to speak opposed?
I would like to.
Okay.
I'm Pat Geezer, Goeser. And Tim has answered some of the questions, but my one concern was the traffic, and the dust on Lime Kiln Road is terrifically bad. And with extra traveling on the road would make more dust. And I wanted to know how many dogs, and he mentioned 8. and what kind of accommodations. I think he's ran over that pretty well. But as far as the noise go, especially at night, we have a lot of coyotes out in the neighborhood, and it echoes down through the valley. And I'm afraid that I won't be able to have my windows or doors open in the evening and or night. If the coyotes are really howling, that gets the dogs going. So that was my main concern. And then I also have a letter here from other neighbors, 2 neighbors, and who I present it to. And that's all I have. Thank you.
You want to just read that letter to us, Dave? Yeah.
I can, if you'd like me to.
Well, that way it's on record.
If you need help, let me know.
This letter is, from Terry and Janet Peterson, Petersen. To whom it may concern, this letter is regarding the hearing for the approval of a commercial dog kennel daycare bordering on Lime Kiln Road. While we appreciate the desire of the Panini family to start their own business of boarding pets, we have concerns regarding the additional traffic this endeavor would bring to Lime Kiln Road, which is already heavily traveled, and the excess gravel dust caused by more cars going to and from their place of business. Additionally, the boarding kennels mean dogs barking. We are concerned that the property values would be affected by the additional traffic and noise. Because of these concerns, we request that the board deny the request of a kennel. Thank you for your consideration. Signed, Terry and Janet Peterson.
Okay. Would you like to have a closing statement to answering those, or
First of all, there's
need to
not.
come up here?
Oh, sorry. If the dogs are barking, they will be brought inside. I don't like neighbor dogs barking either. And as far as traffic goes, we're talking maybe 4 to 6 dogs. We don't know if we're gonna have 1 dog a day, 2 dogs a day, 3 dogs a day. I don't think that's gonna affect any traffic. It's gonna be just a very small facility. So an additional car a day, a couple of additional cars a day. That's all I have to say.
The one thing it does, the traffic, it sounds like it's a heavily traveled road already, so another 3 or 4 cars to me, isn't it?
No, I
We live on
mean, it's, when we moved out to the country, we thought, oh, great, we'll be able to go for walks in the country. Like when I was a kid, we could go walking. Our road, the traffic is horrendous and people go over the speed limit. So forget going for walks, but
The one thing that does concern me a little bit is the noise, and I don't know how we can put in here, is there any way to control the noise? I mean,
We, in our conditions, we put in on there about the times that they can be outside during the day and the amount of time they can be out there to try to address that issue of where they're not out all evening, barking.
I mean, because, excuse me, I do not like dogs barking either, so they won't be outside barking. And we're hoping to specialize in the senior dogs, which, they'll sleep a lot, so we'll just have to let them outside to do their duty and.
Where I live, they used to have a kennel, Sonny Bud used to have a kennel. And it is a couple, it's a little ways away. But I never, ever noticed any dogs. I mean, when you go in the building, okay, yes, everybody's barking, everybody's crazy. But nothing, I couldn't really ever hear anything like that. We live out in an area that there's coyotes too. We couldn't ever hear anything outside the building of, from any length of space away, so I don't think that's a concern. I wouldn't be concerned about
I
it
guess
really.
if there is, that's a sheriff deal, probably, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if there's a noise complaint that
we have a noise ordinance in the zoning code, but, a barking dog would not meet it has to be a constant sound for 10 minutes for our zoning ordinance, the noise ordinance to take effect. We can't even get dirt bikes or anything like that on them usually.
But it could be a sheriff problem if you.
Yeah, you can always call the sheriff animal control and they
Right, yeah.
come by and ask you to take them in.
Okay. Good. Good. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Recommendation of the planning committee?
The recommendation of the planning department is to approve the application based on the subject to the following conditions. The total number of dogs to be kept on the property at any given time shall be limited to 6. The applicant shall secure approval through the county building code division to ensure that the structural modifications comply with the Potawatomi County, Iowa building codes. Number 3, the owner operator of the commercial kennel shall reside on the premise. Number 4, the development of the commercial kennel shall be limited to the plan submitted with this conditional use application. Number 5, the dogs shall be kept inside the house/garage kennels except for a period of 4 hours per day when they're allowed to be within the designated fenced area. Dogs kept on the premise for a long-term basis of 1 to 2 weeks shall not be allowed to be outside in the designated area after 8 p.m. The dog feces shall be collected on a regular basis and distributed on the pasture located on the premise. This shall be done in a manner so that it is kept in a clean, sanitary condition and shall be maintained so as the drainage will not affect the health and safety of adjacent property owners. Number 7, signage will be required to comply with Chapter 8.09, 0.03, 0.06. Number 8, I was unaware of this at the time, but this needs to go on there. Be successful at obtaining a state license, obtaining a state of Iowa kennel license and submitting it to the planning department. Based on the following findings of fact. Number 1, the subject property is located in the A4 Loess Hills District. The county zoning ordinance, which is adopted in conjunction with the land use plan, stipulates that the proposed land use is a permitted conditional use in the A4 district. Number 2, the subject property is located in an area where rural acreages are common. The commercial kennel with the limited number of animals, and it is not foreseen to have any negative impact on the area properties. Number 3, Lime Kiln Road is a gravelled county road. The estimated traffic increase to be generated by this commercial kennel is 2 to 3 cars per day. It is not anticipated that this commercial kennel will have a negative impact on the county road. Number 4, any adverse impacts on adjoining properties are minimized with the conditions imposed on this commercial kennel. Number 5, the commercial kennel complies with all of the conditions imposed by the zoning ordinance on commercial kennels. That's the recommendation.
Okay, I'd ask for a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion. Any comments, questions, discussion?
What do you think about some kind of a containment system for the urine and the feces instead of just laying it out on the ground? I don't know if that's a great thing.
Don't you think that'll probably be addressed by the State Department when they come out? I mean, that should be a health, I mean, that's probably a health concern, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either.
On the grass.
The only thing I didn't know, Tim, according to state code that I was questioning, but I'd have to look at is whether or not you could put that into your septic system.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if.
Garage floor drains, I mean, are not normally allowed to go into it, even though that this area is not now being used as one, but I just don't know what Dan Olson's view on the animal waste going into that system would be. I would have to find that answer out, but it is.
guess I'd just like to say that I appreciate the fact that they're getting a license, because I know there's people out in the county that are doing this without a license, so I think the fact that they have gone to the trouble to come to the board and get the state license is admirable, rather than just doing it like a lot of people are doing.
Just do it without ever coming here.
Right.
Don't know that there's any way we can put stipulations on that right now, I mean, with the sewage.
No, we can make it.
Well, if, I guess then, if somebody complains about it, then you'll have to address it then.
With the conditions on a clean, safe, sanitary manner, I mean, if we do get a complaint on it, we have it in the conditions that we can then bring it back and act on it.
Right.
I can live with that.
Okay, there's no more discussion, I'd entertain a motion one way or the other.
I make a motion we approve the conditional use permit for the boarding and for the dogs, based on the staff recommendations.
I say,
Been moved and seconded, and I ask for a roll call vote, please.
General,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Sure.
Herder,
Yes.
Pierce.
yes,
Motion is carried, you have your permit. Is there any other business for us, ma'am?
No other business.
It doesn't look like me. Do you have anything?